Brian Sensei here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a podcast with AI generated voices. This is great for when you have to read a really long document, but you'd rather consume the content through an engaging, interactive podcast. Let's check it out. Okay, so to get started, head on over to NotebookLM.google.com. You'll find a link in the description below. Okay, once here, make sure you are signed in with a Google account. And then we're going to come down to Create New Notebook. All right, so here I have an opportunity to provide resources and content that the podcast will be based on. Now, I have a document here that is quite long. It's a document on the history of rock music. And instead of having to read through all of this, I can have this turned into a podcast. So what I'm going to do is come here and click Upload Files. And there it is, History of Rock, open. All right, so now what's happening is NotebookLM is analyzing the information in that document and has now synthesized it. They've created a title for me, The Evolution and Transformation of Rock Music, and they've provided a little summary here of what it's all about. Now, this is basically a chat bot where I can begin typing and asking questions down here in order to learn about what's in this document. However, I want to make the podcast. Now, before I do that, I just want to call out that you can add more resources right here. So you can click here, you can search the web for other related sources. You can provide a link to a specific website that has similar content, or you can link to YouTube videos. And so you can provide more information that way. I'm just going to stick with the one document because it's pretty long. And now I'm going to come over here on the right-hand side and I'm going to go to Audio Overview. Generate an AI podcast based on your sources. Here I have some settings. Format. Do I want deep dive, brief? Do I want it to be a critique? Or do I want to set it up as a debate? In this example, I'm going to do deep dive, a lively conversation between two hosts, unpacking and connecting topics in your sources. Down here, we can choose a language. That's right. So if you would like to actually consume this, listen to this in a different language, you have those options. Here we have the length. How long do you want the podcast to be? Short, default, or long? I'll keep it on default. And here it says, what should the AI hosts focus on in this episode? And this is optional. You don't need to provide anything there. I'm just going to leave it blank and I'm going to click generate. Over on the right, you're going to see the status that they are generating the audio overview. Come back in a few minutes. So here you can take a break, maybe go get yourself a cup of tea, and then come back when it's ready to play.
A few moments later.
Okay, so it looks like the podcast is ready to go. Check it out. They've created a title for the podcast, How Rock Survives by Resetting Itself. All right, let's play it back and take a listen.
Think about what happens when your computer or like your phone starts getting incredibly sluggish.
Oh, yeah. The worst.
Right. It's just bogged down with years of bloated software, way too many background processes, and endless updates that just make the system heavier and heavier.
Absolutely. And you can't just install another update to fix it.
Also notice here you have playback speed. So we can bump this up a little bit. I always like to do that when I listen to my podcasts so I can get through them faster. Let's go 1.2 times.
Exactly. You don't just add a new coat of paint to the case. You back up your most essential files and you do a complete hard factory reset.
Right. You wipe the hard drive clean and start over from zero. It's really the only way to get the machine running fast and lean again. You kind of have to destroy the current ecosystem to save the device.
Yeah. And when you trace the entire 80-year timeline of rock and roll, you realize something pretty fascinating. It is like the only genre of popular music that survives by constantly reformatting its own hard drive.
It really is.
Whoa, that's pretty cool. Those are some great sounding AI voices. They sound totally natural. And I love how the format is a casual conversation between the two hosts. Now, notice here, you can add notes as you're listening. And then up here in the More menu, you can download the audio file of the podcast so that you can play it back on other devices like your phone and listen to it on the go. Now, this is the really cool aspect of the NotebookLM podcast. You can click here and make it interactive. In this format, I can click the join button as they are talking, and I can ask questions or I can interject by sharing something with the hosts. Let's check it out.
Think about what happens when your computer or like your phone starts getting incredibly sluggish.
Oh, hey, welcome. What's up?
Hi, yes. I was wondering if you guys could focus on the decade of the 80s and new wave music.
That is a fantastic request.
That's a great request. We love the 80s.
And we absolutely can. We were just about to lay out the whole history.
But the 80s, especially new wave, is a really crucial part of the story.
It perfectly illustrates the concept we were introducing.
Okay, let's unpack. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes, can you guys tell me about the band Blondie? They're one of my favorite new wave bands.
Oh, Blondie is a perfect choice.
They truly are an iconic group.
And yes, we absolutely have them in the source.
It's an amazing connection because Blondie really bridges two important eras.
They emerged from the New York punk and new wave scenes.
Which is fascinating because they...
Boom shakalaka. Isn't that awesome? I can actually participate in the podcast while I'm learning. All right, so here I'm going to come back to the top and I'm going to click on Studio. This takes me back to my notebook. And over here on the right, I just want to call out that you can create other products to help you digest the information. For example, you can create a slide deck. You can get a video overview, a mind map, a report. You can create flashcards if you're trying to memorize the information, or a quiz, or an infographic, and even a data table. So you can play around with these other tools as well. But that is how you create an AI podcast using NotebookLM. Let me know in the comments what you think and how you might use this.
Please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.